Hello, everyone. I want to thank you for joining me today, and I want to welcome you to day 10 of my 10-day live challenge. We are crossing the finish line. So I'm so thankful that you guys kind of stuck in there with me for 10 days. I appreciate that. Today, I am finishing this series off with the ever popular question, um, yeah, actually today I'm finishing the process with how do you start a non-medical home care agency? And I have done this type of video before. Actually, if you look on my actually, I have done this topic before. It's actually one of my most popular. I think it's actually the most popular video that I've done, and it's so funny to look at it now because absolutely what I said 2 years ago holds true today. I just think today, 2 years later, I have a little bit different perspective. So I want to share that with you today. Um, as a reminder, I have created two checklists, and I'm so thankful that I was able to do that. That is something that I talked about 2 years ago, and I feel more strongly about it today. A checklist will really help aid you in your journey. Both of the checklists are absolutely free. I've created one for those of you starting your non-medical home care agency, and it's actually the same one that I used when I went through the process myself to get licensed. And then, of course, I know not all of you are starting non-medical home care agencies, so I just created one in general to help you with your entrepreneur dreams. So, with that, guys, let's get started. Okay, so the first tip that I have for you shouldn't be all of the information that you can regarding this industry. So I know that a lot of you have already been exposed to this industry by working in it, whether you yourself have been a CNA, a home health aide, an LV, and an RN. I know a lot of you have really decided, you know what, I want to own my own home care agency, and that's wonderful. There are also people coming to this agency like me, who did not have any previous medical experience, but either having to work within the industry to secure, healthcare for our loved ones, and just really wanting to be a part of the industry, or because for other personal reasons, this is something that you want to pursue. You definitely want to make sure that you're consuming all of the information that you can regarding this industry. So, I actually have pulled together a couple of resources, and I'm going to include them in the description once I get this posted for you later today. But a couple of things that come to mind is Home Healthcare News. And then Home Care News is a magazine that I actually used to have delivered to my office every month. And I love that information because it talks about industry trends. It talks about what are some concerns, both on the client side and on the owner side. What are those trends? What are those industry concerns? How are they being addressed? So I just used to love to receive my copy, open it up, and see what I could glean from it. Um, other Watch YouTube channels. I know there's quite a few people that are on YouTube talking about home care. So get their perspective. All of us are going to have different experiences. All of us have had, different number of years experience, have helped. Some have opened more, they have more than one home care agency. So you really want to make sure that you're getting different perspectives. I myself, whenever I watch different YouTubers, I feel like I get something different from each one. So I want to make sure that you have that same tool belt as you go through this process for your agency. And of course, the business plan. So once you take your courses, you're watching your YouTube, you're getting all of your information about the home care industry, and it actually reconfirms your commitment. It really validates that this is something that you want to do. Then you guessed it. You want to create your business plan. So by you thoroughly understanding your business as a concept, this will allow you to create an analysis of your competitive environment. I hear us talking about that more and more, the competition. Well, let's vet that through on paper. Let's see what that is going to mean for your business. You're going to develop your marketing plan, right? You're going to draft your people requirements. If it's just you, great. But what does it look like a year from now? Remember, we talked about phases, and then lay out that key financial information. So, how am I starting up? Once I start up, how am I going to kind of keep things going until I actually start, making money at this? These are things we don't want to be shy about. We really want to go through it and see how we want to answer all of those questions before we're responsible for the answers, right? So this will definitely serve as a roadmap for you and your business. The second tip that I have for you guys is to get to know your state regulations for licensure. Now, um, this is where that checklist is going to come in. So you're going to create your checklist to keep you organized. And remember, I have already kind of done that for you. So don't forget to download your free checklist. But then, of course, you can add some things. You can create your own. I actually did a video on the checklist too, as well. I'm just thinking about that. So I will make sure that's included in the description. But remember, in the state of California, it's the California Department of Social Services that governs us, and they have laid out a nice licensing process. It's very thorough to me. It's broken off in sections. And again, each section is explained in that document, in that licensing document. So you want to make sure those activities, those things that are needed for your license are included in the checklist. But what I like about my checklist that I created is it's not just about licensing. You know what I mean? It's about you being able to run your business after you receive the license. So the checklist should really embody both the licensing requirements and then operations. All right. So based on those two things, you're going to create a timeline. So, kind of really think about it. How long do you want this process to be? Because really and truly, I get this question a lot too. How long does it take for you to get licensed? Now, I will tell you this. I remember submitting my licensing. I want to say mid September, and then I was licensed by the end of December. So if you look at that, that's about 11, 12 weeks, right? But there was time beforehand that I was preparing those documents, that I was creating my job descriptions, that I was creating my policies and procedures, all of those documents. So you have to kind of tag that on. So based on that, your timeline should reflect that. How long are you giving yourself to submit your packet to the state of California or whatever state that you're in? Okay. And then based on that submission, it's going to be about 2 to 3 months before you actually receive the license, and hopefully it's quicker now because that was about 2 years ago. Okay? Now, you want to keep in mind that the majority of your time will be spent developing those policies and procedures. Okay? So I want to put that out there too. That's gonna be because a lot of it, remember, Section A is just application documents, so you're really just kind of filling out paperwork and things that nature. Section B is where that's the meaty part of the application. That's where you're really showing the state what your program is gonna look like, what your agency is gonna look like. And so, of course, you want to be realistic with yourself. So you may have to check your plan, you may have to reassess it, and you may have to revise it. And there's no shame in that because you wanna get it right the first time, okay? And then, guys, the last tip that I have for you is a big one. Now you want to develop your operations. So when we submit that packet into the state, there's no time for rest because um, it's time for you to stand up what you said you were going to do, right? So a lot of this will come from your business plan, but you want to start setting up your operations. So, what does onboarding look like for your new hires? Because that's something that you'll be talking about in your policies and procedures. So now we have to create that process around it. What does it look like if you're onboarding a new client? Are you giving them a folder? What questions are you going to ask? What step is that in the process? So, based on what I just asked you, do you need to create paperwork? What do your contracts look like? Are you using contracts or agreements? Where are those agreements? You have to develop these things. Okay. Your home health aide, are you going to have them fill out an application? Who will handle call offs? What number do your home health aides call in if they have to change their schedule or they can't make it to their shift? How soon do they have to do so? So, see, all of the policies that you wrote are now coming to life. And the way I always think about it is, for every policy, there's a process behind it. And so you want to go through those processes. And that's why I always say your policies and procedures is a living document, because certain things and or situations may cause those policies or processes to change. A lot of times we learn through experiences, right? So something may happen and you realize, well, I don't even have a process for that. So certainly you want to get through that situation, but you also want to document how you handled it, because you want to update your policy and procedure manual with that experience, with that new process. And then you want to make sure everybody in your organization, as they come on board, that they are trained and they know how to adequately address that situation. Okay, so that does happen. It happens to the best of us. Like, oh, that's never happened before. So after the shock wears off, you got to get to addressing it. Okay. Guys, that is all I have to. I'm always so blown away how quickly 10 minutes goes. But that is all I have for you guys today. Again, I do have videos that I have created on all of these topics. So that's why I don't want to I don't want to go over the things that I've already said in previous videos. I really challenge myself to make sure I'm giving you something new, something more to consider as you're going through this process. So again, I think this was a pretty meaty one. You want to make sure that you create your business plan, get to know your state regulations for licensure, and then you want to develop your operations. Okay, guys, this has been really a learning experience for me. I will definitely say that I did challenge myself in this 10-day life challenge. And I definitely want to thank you for coming along for the journey. I am in the process of creating new challenges, new series. I will let you guys know about those. But in the meantime, good luck with your businesses, guys. Stay blessed.